Hey, it's Mike Draper with AWC TV, and in our next magazine that we have coming out in our our March-April edition, we have featured Josh Thompson with Thompson Window Cleaning and Thompson Touch Window Cleaning, and it's just a really interesting guy. He's out on the East Coast, the New York, New Jersey office, and we've got him on board with us today. Josh, thank you for coming on our TV show today. We appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, but we really appreciate you taking a few minutes out to be with us.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Happy to be here.
Yeah, good. So your coverage area that you guys cover is New Jersey and New York, right? I mean, that's where you're centered?
Yeah. We're based out of Edison. We cover New Jersey, the 5 boroughs, Jersey City pretty heavily. I'd say we've got maybe about 30% of the market there. Okay,
very nice. I like your sign in the background. You can't deposit excuses. That's something to live by.
Yeah. It'll bounce.
Right, they will. Yeah, I always used to say the power company and all that they don't work on promises, right? So,
no, they don't.
When you were starting your company, talk to us a little bit about what were some of the initial struggles in getting going. What was your grind? What kept you up at night?
Man, like I was always the window cleaner. I came up cleaning windows, so I was always like, man, I run my own business, man. Like this guy, I can do that. And then you start doing it, and then it's like now you're not cleaning windows anymore. Now you're running a business. Now you got to deal with the marketing. Now you got to deal with the, everything else. The AR. Now you're a bookkeeper. Now you're a marketer. Now you're, collections. Now you're all these things. That it's a lot more than just, slinging a squeegee.
Right.
Develop skills at all of a sudden.
Yeah. And so, and it challenges all of us business owners to try to develop those skills and to get those going. When did you first start your business? What year?
2010. So I'm about 8 years in right now.
About 8 years in. Okay. So
2010.
Oh, 2010.
Yep. 2010.
Okay. So 2010, and now fast forward 8 years. You're a successful guy. You've got multiple operations going. A lot of guys out there as well. Now, what keeps you up at night?
Keeping everything going.
So nothing changed. It's the same stuff.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. It's now trying to get to the next level. Things that once used to satisfy me, don't satisfy me anymore. Like I would, just the other day I went out and, I only did a $30,000 estimate, and I was pretty bummed with the amount of production I got that day. And I remember when I first started, I would have been like so psyched. I would have been like, telling everybody, I got a $30,000 estimate today, man, I want to be rich,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all the same, but I would say the standards and the goals and everything else just the bar just keeps rising.
Right. Yeah, it is funny, when you first start out, the differences that you have. I mean, you go out and your goals at that time versus once you've got multiple guys out there, your focus just changes altogether. So I can appreciate that.
And it's all about perspective, because, a lot of times going more into like, things that you look for kind of like as a seasoned, veteran versus like when you, first start, it's like, you might get a large contract, you might get a $50,000 contract. There might be reason for celebration, but it's like now it's like more or less I'm asking like who are these people? Like, who is this guy that claims he's going to give me a large sum of money to clean his windows? Is this a reputable source? Is this guy going to take forever to pay me?
Right.
Is like, what's my liabilities? It's about protecting your ass, a lot of the times. That's more the wave I'm on these days, I guess you could say.
Right. Now, you guys do, and I always tell guys too, just, everybody wants the next level. They want the next phase, how do I get bigger and how do I get, and I always just tell guys, just be careful what you think you want, because sometimes you get there and it's not quite as rewarding as you thought it was, or there's a lot more demand on you emotionally and physically just to keep that. So just be careful what you ask for.
It's I would say that's very true.
Yes. Now, you guys are a high-rise company. Yeah. And so one of the things that I always like to talk about, we're very big on safety here at AWC. And what are some of the challenges that that you're dealing with out there as a high-rise company with specifically the new OSHA requirements of 1910 Subpart D?
Oh, man. You know what? I've been lucky enough to have a solid group of really friends and, you know, people to confide in regards to all that, you know, because I've really learned a lot. I'm a big fan of Jeff Scott. He actually certifies us on a regular basis to have all our rope descent technicians certified. And he's also kind of really coached us through a lot of the OSHA regulations, what's required of the building owner, what's required of us, and really how to like go about coaching. Because like the building owner, like they know they're supposed to do stuff. They're like kind of like, oh, we should do something. I heard about this. I'm not really sure. So you kind of almost have to hold the building owner's hand, like, hey, listen, just you know, you got to put your arm around them, like it'll be okay. You have to get anchors, you know, but in reality, you're protecting your ass, you're limiting your liabilities. And at the end of the day, we're going to make sure that we do everything compliant for you.
Yeah. And guys that are looking at, you know, I talk to guys all the time that, you know, they're like, oh, what's it take to get in? How much it costs the equipment? And I always say, you know what, probably if you look at the whole spectrum of high rise, 10% of it is you actually getting on a rope and descending down. That's the easy part. You can watch a YouTube video and learn how to descend a rope. That's not the big deal.
It's not glorious as when I first started. You know, when I first started, it was like, you know, one, I was about like 18 and I was an idiot. And just, you know, let's run it. Let's go clean some high rises, man. And Ty, let's go. You know, let's lasso that rope up, and I'm getting it. Now it's like, you know, more or less, you know, making sure the building owner is compliant, making sure your staff is compliant, making sure that you have a work plan, and then making sure that work plan, like you go through all the trouble of setting up a work plan. Let's make sure that our team is actually following that work plan as well. You know, let's it's a lot to keep track of, I guess.
Yeah. Building management is what I call it. I mean, you got to manage the building owner. You got to manage the property, sometimes the property management company. You got to manage the guys that are on the building, and you got to do all this kind of remotely because you don't want to be out there cleaning. And so 90% of that high rise work is all just kind of management type stuff. It's crazy.
Exactly. And that's one thing that we've really been working on is the leadership structure of our crews and whatnot. We've got a great leadership team going into 2018, and like each one of like our key players, I guess you could say, is like really like developing like a niche, like a little niche skill, you know, and that's really playing a part that everyone's working together. You know, like our guy Ian is he's developing the roof plans. Like we got this program, and he's like, you know, putting up every single drop and numbering them off and things like that. And then our guy Rob he's actually a military veteran. I'd like to add, you know, like to drop that in there. He's like kind of developing like pre-job briefs and like post, you know, like a post brief of each job. He has this like cool program he's working with to, you know, so everyone can get together before we go to a building and review the roof plan. Hey, this is the work plan we gave the building. So, you know, don't tie your ropes around like a handrail or something, because, you know,
right.
That's not, you know, we are raising the bar for window cleaning, and our team is supporting us in the bar raising.
Yeah, that's awesome. So with that in mind, you look at in 8 years where you've come.
Yeah.
And where are you going? What's the next 8 years look like?
Next 8 years it's going to look fun. You know, I mean, in my opinion, I'm in the New York market supports the largest economy for window cleaners. In my opinion, I would say in the world, you know, because they have like the most regulations, you know, a lot of challenges there. And that's the window cleaning's the easy part these days. You know, that's not the challenging thing that you have to tackle.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to, obviously I'm friends with you outside the magazine, and I look forward to looking at you and watching you over the next 8 years. And I know that you're going to succeed because of the very sign that's on the back wall. It says you can't deposit excuses, and you're going to be successful. So I really appreciate knowing you.
Yeah, me too. You sold me my first Cone helmet. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, good. Hey, I know you're a busy guy, and I can hear your dings going off in the background. You're probably trying to land one of those property managers right now. But yeah. I appreciate you coming on with us today and sharing a little bit about your experience.
Thanks, Mike.
So this is Mike Draper with AWC TV. We're signing off. Be sure to get a look at the full article on Josh Thompson in our March and April edition of AWC Magazine. Stay tuned for our next episode of AWC TV by following us on YouTube, Facebook, or our website, awcmag.com.